Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bridging Impact Podcast, the podcast that is passing wisdom to the next generation of athletes, parents, and coaches to transform leaders on and off the court. And I am your host, Coach Furtado. So, in today's episode, it's an episode of Coach's Corner where every Friday I drop some of the wisdom that I'm learning from the week, questions I'm getting asked by other athletes, parents, and coaches, and just what I'm learning out there in the great world of sports and life. So, this week, I had the opportunity to really reflect on some of my values. And I think taking some time at the end of, every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, kind of depends on the person, to really just ask, what is the direction I am going in life? And like, what is the direction that, I may need to make some shifts and changes in? And, obviously, Bridging Impact, it reached 50 episodes. We had an episode on impact and consistency last week. So when you're consistent, you have to make sure that you're being consistent about something that you're really passionate about and something that's true to your core values. And, I've had some opportunities to have conversations with people that are important to me in my life. And, that brings up, different thoughts and, different questions on, whether I am, making sure that I'm staying true to my values. So for me, like obviously it's really fun to kind of look back, especially because, my birthday was this week and I think it's a perfect time to like look back on, what life was like, when I was 21 or when I was 18 or when I was 22, and now that I'm 25, right. It's, and that great opportunity to really, think about how far you have come from, where you've been. And are you still on that path of your dreams and those values when you were 21 or 22, or did they shift? Did they change? And it's really cool to see how much, alignment I still have from when I began, and also recognize some of the shifts. And it's like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, right? You're going to kind of metamorphosize and transform into something new and greater. And so with that, I went back to kind of my roots. I asked myself, like, my Instagram bio for the longest time. And really, this is kind of just the values I wanted to live with. Is just a small town kid that wanted to make a difference in the world. So a little context for those that are a little bit newer in the journey. I know a lot of people may know where I'm originally from, but I'm from Humboldt County, which is a really small area in, the United States. Really, it's like 100,000 people within like a huge land radius. We're 5 hours north of San Francisco. All right, I'm like 5 hours north, or 7 hours north is Portland. There's really not a ton of cities by. It's definitely rural, small town kid. I went to K through 8 school, 120 kids. My high school was like 800 kids, like the second biggest high school in in the Humboldt County area. So with that, like, just being someone who's just like not always exposed to a ton of different, cultures and activities, because that's life in a small town. But with that came, just a great opportunity, great foundation that I had from obviously my parents, but so many other of my friends, and the community was so tight knit. That's where a lot of my values come from. And that's why I just wanted to continue to pass that on as I went to University of Oregon and I started working at Boys and Girls Clubs. And I think I recognized at a pretty young age that I wanted to make an impact on youth, right? I get started with Boys and Girls Club when I volunteered there, and just really like love the positive mentorship aspect of it. And Boys and Girls Club is actually the first place where I ran my first basketball programming. At the time, of course I had no idea that basketball coaching would eventually kind of be my profession. At least it is right now. And so with that, I would like to fast forward to where I am now, right? Just a small town kid wanting to make a difference in the world. I think, sometimes I have my entrepreneurship hat, right? Like you know, and in this episode with Peyton, it's a really cool opportunity because he was a social worker and a personal trainer, right? Entrepreneur. And, we have that similar energy where like I have that civic engagement in me, the Boys and Girls Club, the person that really wants to give back, working with peace players and other different organizations. And honestly, just, when you're a coach, you don't get paid a lot of money, right? Venice, a high school basketball coach is not in California, not in LAUSD, at least. There are probably other high school basketball coaches that are paid well, but we're not here in LA. So you got the kind of servant in me, but also, I got the entrepreneur in me who wants to create that business, create financial, freedom for myself and the ability to impact others and be able to create my own schedule and kind of be quote unquote be my own boss, right? That's always something that's kind of been interesting to me. But I've really wanted to create a brand, create an organization out of nothing, and that requires pricing and sales and marketing and another side that's it's newer to me, right? To be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be able to make sales, have a product, and kind of be able to charge people, and that's been something that's newer for me. And because I've had that Boys and Girls Club, like kind of like accessibility mindset, and so with some of these conversations I started to ask myself, like, what is it that I really want to do, right? What is it, how do I really want to marry both? And I'm still kind of learning and growing, and this is almost like me talking about how like the future and what I see is, I really do believe that I want to have that entrepreneur side where we are creating a brand, an organization, a business, whether it ends up becoming a B Corp, a nonprofit. I also know at the end of the day that I really do genuinely want to serve kids. And I see a lot of, I've worked for organizations, I've seen it that a lot of times, you know, eventually like the youth sports business just becomes that, a business. And it's more than a business, right? And at the end of the day, you have to, we're in a world where you have to have the finances to make it happen, right? So like, but for me, the biggest realization I had was, I don't want basketball to become, have exclude people. Like that was one of the biggest realizations that I had. So as Bridging Impact builds out its programming for basketball and leadership, I want to make sure that kids have the opportunity to play basketball, to play sports like I did. And I think that's one thing that I was kind of tailoring in, and something that I may obviously do some more thinking on is, I was kind of focusing, I was moving towards like only focusing on kids who want to be serious and get better. And I think there should be tiers, right? Like I should probably not include those that are really serious with those that are just kind of exploring the game and having fun, right? Tiering it, making sure that those that are just playing for the love of the game and those that are playing to really hunt and get scholarships, they should be in the same classes, right? Should be in the same training sessions. And so that's something that I'm learning as a young entrepreneur, is that I have both, right? Because I'm a competitor at the end of the day, but also I believe in giving those opportunities that I had. And just because sports is so great, right? And I want to do more than sports. I was thinking about, what do I really want to be? Like, who do I really want to impact? And at the end of the day, if you stripped away sports, everything, I just want to be a teacher of life. And I can't be a teacher of life unless I'm not a student of life. And so always kind of pursuing wisdom and learning through challenges and really seeking knowledge. It's kind of what the podcast is for. I really just, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of seeking wisdom and insight from other coaches, other people that are passing it on. And I just want to continue to pass that forward. I want to just be a teacher of life, right? And that's through and through, no matter what I do. And so, Bridging Impact's all about giving that impact back that I was given. And so that's really just at the end of the day what I want to do. And I think sometimes we can fall off from our values, and I really try and maybe this is probably too open to share, for those that maybe like, clients of mine technically, and could be listening to this and be like, what in the world, Jay? But I really want to pride myself on being kind of authentic and sharing, as much as I can about the journey, about what it's really like to kind of be an entrepreneur, be a coach, be a creator, because I see myself as all three of those hats, right? And we wear multiple hats in our lives, right? We're not just one person, one facet. And I think the more that we can be able to accept, the multiple identities, and not get too tied up in one identity. I think that's one thing that I maybe sometimes obsess over, like, oh, I am a basketball coach. It's like, no, I'm a mentor of youth, right? Like something a little bit more broad. And there are a lot of mentors of youth, and there's so many great teachers that are mentors of youth, and the list goes on. Boys and Girls Clubs, after school programs, is dance, is a whole nother avenue that's not sports that make a lot of impact on kids. And that's really just what I want to kind of support at the end of the day. And so just really making sure that I stay true to those values as I continue to move on, in this entrepreneur world, on this creator world, and building Bridging Impact. And I'm excited because I know that Bridging Impact can really be a brand and company and organization that really helps and really does actually bridge that impact and make a lot of difference in the lives of youth. And so just want to keep passing that on. I appreciate you all for continuing to listen to me. If you have any ideas on what I should talk about, any questions, like, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me, in the show notes here in the description, or you can comment any questions if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm all about just, kind of giving that back. And so, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will be, kind of unplugging, get to go to a little mountain town, Idlewild, this weekend. So I'm ready for that. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be in your eyes and ears next week. Peace out. Coach Furtado out. Make sure to shoot for greatness and lead for impact. I'm going to try and keep saying that. All right, y'all. Peace.